Live! Our first one for 2023! Yay! Loud applause! We
Yeah.
have made it. I am here. God has granted me the gift of life to see another year, to ring in another year, and I am so grateful.
Grateful.
So welcome, Cagney, or Lacey,
Lacey,
or
you're the Cagney.
Lover, or Shirley, or Thelma, or Louise, whoever. Welcome. Welcome to our viewers, our subscribers. YouTube, please promote our video. We are doing this organically. I had offers to promote it and to pay to get subscribers. I don't want to do that. I want people to like us. I really want to listen to us, right? So I don't want to cheat. I don't believe in cheating. So I'm asking you to please, you hearing me, I know these people in there, because whoever's in there, whatever, doing whatever, please promote our YouTube channel. We need to be heard. Okay? So I'm going to do the intro and then we'll come back, introduce ourselves, say our thing, and just have our conversation. Okay?
Indeed.
Thanks. Oh, yeah? And that's us. There's Christine and there's Cheryl. So, ladies and gentlemen, this channel was created for women, but men are always welcome to listen because you know I love men. I do. With all my heart,
We
I
love
have
men.
sons. I had a father, I have brothers, and I have son, I have a grandson. So lots of men in my life. Okay? But you know, sometimes God challenges you in certain areas. Try to be a woman. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to the first episode of 2023. I'm Cheryl Dan. Just gonna forget my throat. All of this, right? And I'm Cheryl Dan. I am Sit again. And I am an international keynote speaker. I'm an image consultant. I'm a trainer. I'm an author. I'm a woman who wears many hats. I love to work with women to empower them to understand who they are, to walk in their confidence. So this is who I am. And I created this channel just for that. And I invited someone to join me to have conversations because you can't talk to yourself all the time. And my Lacey to the Cagney said yes. So that's the reason why you always see her face here with me every week, right? Or if you're one of us, Selma and Louise, you could be a little rebellious, no problem. Or like I
That's
said,
true.
Lavina and Tilly, embrace the funny side of us. So let me tell you, we are anything but we are Cheryl and we are Christine. So Christine, welcome. Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year to those who will listen. Happy New Year to those who will come in and listen lately. Happy New Year to YouTube. Please promote us. Welcome, Christine. Happy New Year to you. Take it away.
Well. Happy New Year to you too, Cheryl. It's been such a blast being here with you for I don't know how many months now, but who's counting? Who's counting? We are good friends. We grew up in the same neighborhood. I am currently now my life now is surrounded by the passion, purpose of helping you, us women, really become the best version of ourselves in terms of our health and well-being, our mental fitness, our resilience, and how our nutrition and all the aspects of well-being factor into you being your best. And I'm a former um, corporate communications consultant and banker. I'm a business development consultant as well. So, and I also own an event production company. So, like Cheryl, a lady who wears many hats, my heart is huge. I love people. When I was little Cheryl, I used to say that people are the best things since sliced bread. and I
Right.
still and I still think so. You call me naive if you want, but I believe in the best of people. And it may not be apparent in every engagement, but if we take the time to stop, catch our thoughts, reflect a little bit, we will find that we can find beautiful things about anyone who's in front of us. So that's a little bit about the Louise to the Thelma.
There you go. There you go. Yes. And today we're just going to talk about, kind of like not random things, but kind of things. What makes you happy? Yesterday I put out a video, a short video on because I was really tired. Let me tell you all something. I am not into the hard work for Christmas, right? But I had visitors. So therefore I did more than I normally would do. And yesterday I was tired. But I told myself for the last week or so, I hadn't posted a single thing on social media, which is not good. Because when you're into business, you enter the work that we do, you have to always show up. So I decided on my tiredness to get myself dressed up. Not the bottom half, I didn't. Just the top half. I fixed. And I did a video and I put it out on Instagram. And let me tell you, you know what is always so wonderful about those things is the feedback you get from everybody. And I actually got a phone call this morning from somebody who called me and said, Cheryl, I listened to your video clip yesterday and I felt so encouraged and so empowered, right? So during Meet My Tired Self, with just a few encouraging words, was able to make others feel like moving on. Others feel like being intentional and staying focused. But those are my watch words, like I said, keep saying to you all and everybody else who can hear my voice anyway, is that God told me the beginning of last year, and maybe the year before, to stay focused and be intentional. He hasn't changed the words to me, right? Maybe some directions may change, but the words remain the same because we got to have intention for what we're going to do. My intention is to have this YouTube channel. My intention is to make an impact. My intention is help empowerment as I continue to learn and grow. That's my intention. So therefore, I've got to stay focused on that. Because every time you turn around, somebody wants to tell you about your niche. I heard it up to 2 days ago. Maybe you didn't focus on your niche. Maybe your niche is so and so, just because I did a service to the person, which was so good. But guess what? That's who I am. I did a lot of things, okay? So I did that service, and it was thebomb.com, and it is just one of the things that I do very well. I do many things very well, okay? So, but I know what I was called to do. And it is a part of Chrissy's making traffic for her little kitties, right? It is what I'm part of, and I don't have a problem with that. But so we need to stay focused on what God put into our hearts to do. And because everybody always had an opinion about what we're doing. I don't know why. And then sometimes, it could be good advice. It's not that I can't accept good advice. But sometimes a little bit much. You know what I mean? If I'm telling you, God has called me to do this in life, I am called to speak to women, to help empower women. Don't come and tell me, because he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't tell you my business. That's the God we serve. He will tell you your business, and he tell me my business. I don't believe in religious obey people who always know what God tell them to tell you. I don't believe in it. Sorry to say that. That's how I feel. So that little message, about 2 minutes long, impacted lives, and I thought to myself, well, wow, okay. You see, sometimes, so I could have said, I am too tired for this. I am not going to do this. But I decided to get the upper half fixed, get on camera, do it, and post it. And it did mean something to people that I actually got a phone call saying that the message was. It was a simple message that if we say we're going to do something, we're going to get after it. We're going to get doing it. Because if we don't do it, nothing will happen. Stop with all this airy-fairy thing and waiting for people to do things for us, or waiting for some miracle to come from the sky. It doesn't work like that. Faith without works is dead. So we got to make movements. If we say we're going to go down this path, we got to begin with the first step. We can't just stand at the corner, look at the path, and say we're going down that path. We have to start to walk. And that's how I see life. And that's what has been my experience. And the people who I associate with, they will tell you the same thing. We got to get up and get. Sometimes we get redirected. It happens. Sometimes. That's the God we serve. Sometimes He redirects us because we don't hear right. Sometimes our ears might have a little too much wax or something, and we don't hear the right thing, and He will redirect us. But the fact of the matter is, wait for it, pray, listen, and wait for direction. And the direction sometimes is there's no audible voice. Some people claim they hear it. I have not heard it, but it's something that's put into your spirit, something put into your heart, and you feel you must do this. You want to do this. And we feel you want to say, I need to call Christine today. Oh, no, just woke up and thought about it twice in the morning. After I said, I call. Is everything all right? Yes. That's God. That's the Holy Spirit speaking to me to get active. Okay, so some who are blessed more than me might hear a booming voice coming through the sky. I haven't heard it, but I know that things come to my spirit because that's who I dwell with, the Holy Spirit and God. Right? So, that being said, Christine, give your opening statements, please.
Well, my darling, thank you so much. That was and that's very encouraging. And my encouragement for this year is really to start the year. Today's the 2nd of January, and if you haven't done it before, maybe you partied a little too much New Year's Eve, and yesterday you were totally wiped out. But today, just take that time, and I have a couple of things to share with you. Take some time for reflection, re-evaluation, and recommitment. Reflection on what has passed. Do not live your life looking in the rearview mirror. What's done is done, it's gone. Imagine yourself driving a car, whatever car you want. Lamborghini, Porsche, doesn't matter. Prius, doesn't matter. But imagine yourself driving down the highway at whatever speed. You're not going slow, but you're driving down the highway. You have to stay focused, coming back to what Cheryl articulated just now. You have to stay focused. And if you keep looking in your rear view mirror, the past, you're going to miss what's ahead of you. And you can also get into accidents.
Yeah, back there. Mm-hmm.
Reflect. Yes, you do have to reflect because that will have bearing on what comes next. Did you make mistakes in the past? Who did? I did. Many. Yes, all of us. But we cannot sit there focused on the past and say, woe is me, I'm a terrible person. Listen, God made you perfect. Okay? You've made mistakes, we all have. But re-evaluate. Well, I made those mistakes. How can I set things up and I'll tell you my big word for this year. Got it yesterday from Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. So re-evaluate. What's important? What am I going to focus on? And how do I get there? And then recommit. Not to everybody, the marish and the parish, as we would say in Trinidad. Recommit first to God. Recommit to yourself. You deserve everything that is beautiful and everything that is lovely and everything that fills your heart with joy, whatever that may be. And then I wanted to share, Cheryl, that the word for this year, my word for this year is mastery.
Yeah.
Mastery. Yeah. And that came about because of yesterday's sermon by Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts. And she dropped some serious bombs yesterday. Cheryl, you and I will talk about that separately. But mastery. But do you know, before you master everything else, you have to master yourself? Step 1, master yourself. Master your thoughts. Master your actions. So that to me was like God speaking to me yesterday. Oh, wow, this was amazing. And then I have a Bible verse, Cheryl, that I've had from 2020 it's really guided me and given me encouragement. And this comes from my coaches, Nick and Megan Unsworth from Life on Fire. And it's Psalm 65:11, which goes like this, for those of you who are not sure. You crown the year with a bountiful harvest. Even the hard pathways overflow with abundance. So I took it onto myself because that was the Bible verse we were working with back in 2020, and it has stood the test of time, Cheryl. And I want to just share that with folks who, kind of maybe are thinking, how do I go about this year? Maybe I need a little bit of direction. Maybe I need a little extra encouragement. Ladies and the men who love us, this could be it. Cheryl's focus, laser sharp focus, and just getting your words right, words that will guide your every step. I just think it's a very exciting time to be on this planet. Yes, a lot of people say, "Oh my God, the economy is going to hell, and this is going to..." No, 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 not at all, not at all. We get to decide what our economy is going to be, because we have the power within us to make decisions, to get our thoughts clear, to master our own emotions. Bishop talks about this all the time. You can't let your emotions run wild. You have to have that grip on your thoughts. So, folks, that's just it. Just to start our conversation, we can delve a little bit deeper in some of this, but I just think it's an amazing year. Did I have a perfect 2022? No, Cheryl, and you know some of what happened in the last few days of 2022. For me, it was, I would just use the word interesting. But you know something, in all things, God is good, and He guided our steps, and He just made us, I think, even there was a deeper appreciation, Cheryl, for life and the gift of life and the gift of family. Cheryl, and friends we can count on, friends we love and who love us. And that was what was revealed to me. And, coming back to what you said, a booming voice, no, I've never had that. But on Christmas Day, as I was sharing with you, I was in my patio just staring up at the sky. It was a beautiful day, blue skies, white puffy clouds floating across the sky. And I was just sitting there trying to stare beyond the clouds and beyond the blue. And I just felt in my spirit that something was not quite the way it was supposed to be on that morning. And lo and behold, it unfolded. But God gave us grace to navigate that time. And Cheryl, I just want to say publicly, I'm so, so grateful for your love and your friendship. You are a good friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're very welcome. So I could add to all he said there. Let me tell you something. And today with my son, I'm only preaching, but that's all right. Preaching is good, right? Because the people come and they say all kinds of things and people accept them. Accept the good, and their good, and our good. Everybody is relative to who you are. There is a message that comes across to me at Christmas time, right? And it's the birth of our Savior in a manger. Now, some religious people take that to mean poverty and humility and So maybe it might be so. But what I have gathered from that, in studying and in praying and in just kind of pondering upon the meaning of this whole thing, this is our God created the heavens and the earth, who actually planned a perfect life for us, right? In a garden where we didn't have to have pain and we didn't have to die, and Asian got wrinkled, which I hate, and all these different things. But that's okay, but it's life. I don't really like Asian, but whatever. But and all these things, right? And then things happen. And then he sent his son to save us. But he was delivered in a manger with cattle and all kinds of stuff, right? Think about it, on a bed of straw. And I thought to myself, I don't say that's poverty because God didn't have to do that. I think there's a lesson for us to learn in that all of us will have our major moments in life. And those
Powerful.
other major moments, we need to grow out of it. Because look at what he grew into. Look at who he became out of that major moment. So instead of looking at it in a negative light and keep putting these crushes up, which I like to see, of course, it's Christmas time, and his baby in there, whatever it is. Think about what that baby became because he was delivered in such humility on his bed of straw. Take your major moment, maybe a moment when you can't pay a bill, maybe a moment when you didn't feel well, maybe a moment when a friend, wasn't nice to you or was deceitful, whatever it is. Take those major moments and use it with God's word and his purpose for your life and see how you can build yourself into being that savior of yourself. Because we can do that for ourselves. He gave us the power to look after ourselves, not to become gods, but to look after ourselves, right? And it, again, Christy said just now, it all starts with our mind, right? We can't keep living looking back. Sometimes we need to look back because we need to correct, not to correct mistakes, but to learn from what happened. Something happened there, why did that happen? And recognize, okay, I can't do that, I can't pass this, go down this path again, I need to go somewhere else. So that there are different results, right? So sometimes you need to take a glance back, but we need not stay staring back because we could end up dead. We can't run into a wall and we don't even know you hit the wall because we forever staying back. So I'm saying, I want to let our major moments be learning moments. I had, from 2015, I had major moments. Let me tell you all something. I one day going to the whole thing from 2015, but then 2020 came and made those major moments look like nothing, right? And 2020, I was pretty okay. I was pretty okay. I paid my bills, I had some money there, I paid, and I was okay, and lot of Netflix and stuff, waiting for COVID to be over. Thinking, like a lot of people, that in a few months it will be done. Well, COVID had news to me. 2021 came along, and he was still there. I call him a him. He was still there, right? He was still there. And from February of 2021, I struggled financially. I'm not going to lie about it. It was a struggle. But when I woke up yesterday morning and this morning, I look at my life, I look at my home, I look at my kitchen cupboards and stuff. I said, I do not believe in God. Because from March of 2021 to now, I am still alive. I've not been hungry one single day. I am good. I'm in good health. I have a good roof over my head. I have a good vehicle to drive. I am good. So who took care of that? So I want to tell people, stop focusing only on money. Money is important. The Bible says money answers all things. So don't get me wrong with that. The thing I want money too. But stop focusing only on that. And begin to renew your mind. And use your major moments instead of being angry and overly hurt. And I'll say not to feel. Listen to me. I'm not saying not to feel, not to be emotions followed by. Just stay there. Use those major moments to build yourself and come out of it and become the person who people will follow and listen to. Become a leader in your whatever field you're in. Whether you're an entrepreneur or you have a job or you're at university or you're studying, whatever it is, whatever your goals are, use your major moments for that. Because we need not stay in those poor situations, lying on a bed of straw. We have to grow up and grow out of it. But it all starts with the renewing of our minds. We need to be careful. And in saying that, what I want to say is that sometimes that solely, very wholly depends on who you align yourself with. Be careful who you're talking to, who you're sharing your space with, who you have conversations with on a daily basis, who you share your dreams and aspirations with. Just be careful. Because sometimes people can really just be negative and they'll pump things into their head that really is not there, not true. They're just really strange. How people could just be, and there's sometimes, and usually they're the strong ones, eh? They're very adamant about what they're telling you. But you have to do for yourself. Because there's nobody who could go into your head and your mind and pull anything out and understand what you're saying. I don't care how psychic they think they are, right? They cannot go in there and understand and say what you and know what you're thinking. You have to think it yourself. And every single thing you think will come to pass. So if you think it's not gonna work, because you can't be bad, I ain't gonna get a job, I ain't gonna get a husband, I ain't gonna this, I ain't gonna that, it will happen. But if you think, listen to me, tomorrow morning I get a phone call, because I put the application here and I did so and so and I did so, I may try to do this, I may try to do that, it is going to happen. Because you might grow up with a mother and a grandmother who always said, where there's a will, there's a way. So get your wills in place. Get your friendship and your associations in place. Doesn't mean you have to stop talking to people. But you have to know who to confide in, who to let your ear gate open to for advice, and who to share your innermost feelings with. And sometimes, 5 fingers on a hand, you don't get to number 5 when you're looking for those people. You don't get to the 5th person. It might just be 2 or 3 people who you feel, who you know. And I thank God every day for friendship. And let me tell you, friendships are not perfect. Let me just say it before I jump off my stage a little bit. Friendships are never perfect. You're never going to find a perfect friend. So stop finding fault with people and picking. Look for the good side of that friendship. And I always said, I tell people, I have 3 good friends who I feel I could talk to and I can say anything to. And I can call their names because I have lots of other people who are my friends. But I will call the names. My company right here, Christine, Michelle, and my friend Gail. Literally, and each of them bring a different perspective to my life. But each of them could make me smile. I'm not lying about that. Each of them could make me smile. That's what you want a friend for. Each of them could make you smile, right? I could find fault with everybody. I can say, Christine, oh my God. I show Christine because she was trying to pass up when you pick apart, because she has to pick apart. I show Christine this city. She right here in front of me, right? Michelle, I can say, well, no, Michelle always says something, anyway, I can say that. And Gail, all she does is pray and pray and pray. That's for me, right? But you know what? Each of these ladies bring a different perspective to my life. And I really appreciate them. So all the others who I know will probably listen to me and say, she say, I'm a friend, yes, you are my friend. But you have to have, you have to focus on where you get to build, where you get, what's the word, too much I use, where you get your energy from. You got to focus there. So while everybody have a lot of friends, I know a lot of people, like my sister asked me to say for Christmas, you know all of these people? You know what? Yes, I know all of these people, but guess what? Some of them are associates, some of them are acquaintances, some of them are friends, and some of them are good friends. So that's where I stand. So in moving forward in 2023, let us begin to renew our minds and think positive about self-love, self-care.
Wow,
important. We cannot talk about that enough. Taking care of yourself. And taking care of yourself, not only going to a spa. I mean, I've been in the business for years as an esthetician, so I can tell you that I love people going to spas. I make money from that, right? But I'll tell you what, it goes beyond that, right? So you come a day and there's nice scents and there's candles around and you have a nice time in the spa. Fabulous. But when you leave there, I want you to go away with the feeling of, I am worth it. I am somebody. I am enough. God created me and formed me in my mother's womb. Even before my mother even knew she was going to be pregnant with me. He knew I was coming here. Think of how special you are. God knows the number of hairs on my head. I mean, I have children, 2 of them. I don't know how many number of hairs on their head. Who's going to come back? But God knows the number of hairs on our head. And that to me is where you could start with the reunion of your mind and you're thinking about who you are. You know, stop looking at people saying things about you and people can tell you, you know. Somebody said to me, you need to work on your neck, you're getting a turkey neck, you're getting old. That was said to me and I said, oh, okay. And I left laughing, right? I said, okay, you know. Because what's the alternative to getting older? What is the alternative? I prefer to getting older. Okay? I prefer to getting older. So the alternative to me is to embrace the lines. Or some people say, not wrinkles, folds, whatever you want to call them, the sinks, the folds, whatever. To embrace it and to be thankful every single day that God has given me the breath of life and has given me the energy to do what I can do even at this stage of my life. Could the people say, I retire, I give up. Yeah, I retire when he shut me up. When he shut me up, well, I don't have a choice. But as long as he give me this mouth to talk and I can face people, wrinkles, lines, sinks, turkey neck and all, I'll be right here in everybody's face. You can listen or don't listen. I'll not stop talking, okay? Christine.
Oh boy. Turkey neck, Cheryl. Wow. Well, the interesting thing about becoming more mature is the level of wisdom that we have because of the time that we've spent here in our experiences. And there is nothing that compares to what we're able to offer based on our experiences. We've walked this path before. And having those wrinkles, I actually quite like the word wrinkles. I don't like the word folds so much because folds make me think of something deep, and wrinkles are little spidery things. Um,
Yes.
but the fact is that all of us, all of us, once we are blessed, we will grow older, and what makes one person different to another is the level of wisdom that they bring to the table. Yesterday, Pastor Sarah and her mom, Lady Sarita Jakes, they asked Bishop to host Woman to Woman and Woman Evolve to come together because what they're saying is there's so much that the more mature women can offer younger women in terms of their experiences and their
Yeah.
knowledge. And so this is perfect timing for this conversation. And what the younger women can impart to the more mature women based on their knowledge of technology and all of the experiences that they bring now to what's happening out there. So the fact is, ladies, we need each other. We need each other. And rather than, and I know culturally, I don't know why it's always been like this. Women look at other women and, they make comments about how beautiful or how smart, or we just make comments. The the better we become, again, I come back to self-mastery. The better we become at what do we have here? What do we have in our minds? Are we able to share the gift of our knowledge with other women? Are we able to, and this is something that coaching continues to teach me, to come to the table without judgment?
Yes.
Without judgment, because guess what? We are all having moments. Something is happening with each of us. And if we cannot come to the table with that sense of how can I serve you today with as good of a heart as I can, inviting Jesus into, inviting the Holy Spirit into the conversation, then we have a challenge, you know. And it seems sometimes that men have a better approach, they do it better, but we really have to get our act together because we need each other. We really do. And when we do this and we do it well, oh wow, the magnificent things that are
Yeah. Yeah.
available to us. Yeah, Cheryl. I mean, like, Cheryl, tell me something. In your expansive career, What are some of the what are some of who are some of the women who've really inspired you? I mean, you're an international keynote speaker, you're an author. Who are some of the women who really inspired you to pursue your dreams?
Uh, the first woman speaker that I really tapped into was Alison Bird. And she's a coach and trainer. And it was the advent of all of these online things. How many years ago? I don't even remember how long ago it was. When there were these two guys doing a workshop. It was very complicated, but I kind of listened in on them, and I can't remember exactly how they came across my feed, but they were there, right? Maybe I
Right,
followed somebody who followed them. And I decided to tap into this thing, and they were doing this whole thing about marketing and the whole thing. It was complicated. I can't even pretend to even understand how to tell you also how what they would do, but I stayed with them. And she was a guest at that thing, right? So then I decided
right.
to follow her. And in following her, she had something called an unconference, meaning it's
Wow.
not a conference, but it's a conference, right? And this was a 24-hour thing. It went all night into the next day.
Wow.
I tapped into the link, I registered, and I was on with those ladies. I was so impressed by even the things that she was saying and the things that other people were saying, and all these coaches who came on, and all these people came and showed, and I was like, wow, this is something, right? And then she mentioned that her coach really was Lisa Nichols, and that she worked with Lisa Nichols for a few years. And she just literally resigned and jumped off to go to do her own thing. And Lisa gave her her blessing and said to her, I'm here for you always. I'll miss you as my part of my team, but I'm here for you. So of course, I Googled Lisa Nichols, found her, tapped into her, whatever, blah, 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 right? And that's how I got interested in all of this thing, right? Of course, I did all of my trainings, my speaking trainings with Lisa Nichols. I went to all of her workshops and, motivation masters. I went to San Diego and Orlando, and I did all my stuff with her. But Alison has been like almost like the because I like Lisa's teaching style. Let me just say that Alison's very good, but I like Lisa's teaching style. And so I follow these two women all the time, and of course there are others who I follow all the time, and that's how I got into that. Those are the women who inspired me to get into the speaking thing. The international part of my speaking came with the same two guys who I heard the first time, but didn't follow them.
Right.
They were having a conference in Washington, D.C., and they were registered to speak. I took my Trinidadian self and started to register too, and they accepted my registration.
Oh, good.
Right? All right. So I ended up speaking to an international audience in Washington, D.C. And that's where the international part, so that's where it started. And of course, I did several other conferences with them and others abroad. So that's how the international part of my speaking career picked off, right? Because at that time, still not big, big and well known, not a big name, but they took a chance, and other people took a chance, and here I am. So here I am now. And now I can have my conference and invite people in, because I've made one person already when I had my last conference, an international speaker, because she did come in from the States, and she could add international to her portfolio as well, because she's come to Trinidad for the first time, the Caribbean people
Right.
there. She spoke at my last conference, and so there's somebody coming again to this other one who's going to add up to things. And so we are all women. So what we're doing is upgrading our portfolio, upgrading our resume or our resume, as Chris Comer said, our resume, we upgraded by helping each other up on stages.
Yes.
So that's where my inspiration comes from, because they help me. I am open to helping others do the same thing. Even before I get to the status of being really well known and being the sought after person who everybody looks for, I am starting where I am. But that's the other point, to start where you are. You don't have to be
Indeed.
Lisa Nichols or Alison Bird or Dr. Cheryl Wood, those people who I follow, women who I aspire to be like one of these days. But I start where I am, and right where I am, I'm making my mark, and I'm also helping other sisters out. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we each have to be inspired by someone who's charted the course already, someone who's really out there doing, what they said they would do. and doing it with grace, style, and effectiveness. Because that's the other thing. We have to be effective in whatever we're doing. I mean, I
Yeah.
too have some experience, not in the international speaking arena, but I have spoken in Florida to an audience, and for me, it was part of another business that I was working in, and just speaking outside of Trinidad and Tobago was part of the gig, right?
Right.
Um,
Right.
and it was a lot of fun because people found someone with a Trinidadian accent exotic, and our experiences are different.
Yes.
Um, our take on life, too, is a little bit different from American audiences, especially Black American audiences. And it was just a fabulous time. And again, back then, I was speaking in the arena with health and wellness back in 2011, all through. I mean, for to at varying degrees, I've always been speaking about health and wellness. And now in this dispensation, Cheryl, even more so, because people need support. They need the help. And I'm finding it so rewarding to be that person, to have that impact. Um, and that's what life is about. It's about having impact, helping others, because God gave us the ability to reach out and do that. And also, no matter, ladies, whatever you've been blessed with, whatever gifts you've been blessed with, when you are working and engaging in your purpose. And sometimes it's true, we have to do the 9 to 5 before we can really do
Of
what we
course. Of
really
course.
want to do.
Of
Guess
course.
what? Pays pays the bills. It also builds consistency. It also builds that commitment to achieve that goal. And it's a muscle that we've got to exercise that muscle. Never give up, ladies. Never give up. And my message to all is that we are never too young or never too old to
To
achieve that
start.
which God put in us. Never too young or too old to start. So if you have something, a burning desire in your heart, whether it is, Cheryl, I saw the most amazing booties on Amazon this morning, whether it's to do that, whether it, and no, they're home booties. I'm gonna get them. But if it's knitting home booties, if for adults to keep your feet nice and warm, if it's that, if it's taking care of animals, and guys, you know I love my kitties and I love dogs as well. If it's advocating for animals, if it's helping children, you adore children, if it's writing books, I have quite a number of friends writing books now. Whatever that is, get started. You're never
Yes.
too young or too old. And we want, Cheryl and I, on this channel, what we want to do, we want to be the ones to encourage you just to go after it. Take
Yes.
one step at a time. And I think, Cheryl, tell me if you agree with this, but I think sometimes we've got this big dream and we hold this dream, it's so huge, and then we never break it down, because you've got to start somewhere, but we never break it down into those bite-sized chunks. We never plan it out. We never say, this is a big goal. How do we get started now? What are the steps? So, Cheryl, if someone was to ask you today and say to you, Cheryl, um, I want to be an esthetician, or I want to be an author, or I want to be an international speaker, what would you say to them? What are some of these steps you can encourage them to take?
Well, those are three different things, right? Mine flowed one into the other. But
Yes,
sometimes you got to do one at a time, right? So the
indeed.
aesthetic part of it, You need to decide if you really want to do this, whether you want to open your own business or you want to work for someone else, right? Back when I started, I opened my own business right off the bat. I didn't work for anybody else. But for most people, they need the experience, so they work for someone and then they merge into their own business. But they got to go to school, the right schools, and study the thing. Do not look at YouTube and open a business. Do not go to China and buy equipment and come back here and read a manual and decide that this is what you're going to be doing on people's bodies. Do not do that. There's a lot that happening in the wrong place, and I don't agree with it at all. As far as a book is concerned, a book for me is one of the easiest things to write. Just make it make sense, right? Make it make sense. And now it's so easy actually to become a publisher, to publish your own book. You're going to do a little bit of studying, a little bit of research, and figure out how to do it. But it's not as difficult as people make it seem. You're not Michelle Obama, so you're not going to have a bestseller in a week, right? Because you're going to have a publisher who's approaching you to write a book, and then will publish you, and then everybody will buy it and then become a bestseller. You have to put the work in. I have not become a bestseller as yet, because I have not really put the work in as yet. I plan to do that. This is my year for doing that, right? I have not pushed it, never even did a book launch, right? But you write your book, and your book could come from an everyday experience of writing down something every single day, an experience, and turning those experiences into chapters. If you're a vlogger, get your vlogs together. All the vlogs you have done month after month, put it together and create a book out of that, a book of vlogs. A book doesn't have to be about your life story, and when you grew up poor, and when somebody got killed. It doesn't always have to be about that. It could be fun. It could be a life. It could be a work experience. It could be a married life. It could be about your kids. Keep writing. If you keep journaling, that's why I believe in journaling. You stop every single day. Turn those little things every day into chapters, and there create your first book, right? And make it interesting. And then, important, get a good creator to create a lovely design of a book cover that will go with what you are writing about. Because you know that old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. People judge a book by its cover, for real. So therefore, the book cover and the title of the book is what's going to draw people in. And there you have all these wonderful experiences in life, and you never know which chapter in there will resonate with somebody who has gone through something similar and was like, and this is what she did. Oh, that's how she came out of that journey, right? And that's how it happens. The international speaker thing, you've got to connect. You cannot be shy. It doesn't happen like that. And you're going to feel intimidated and feel thing. I remember going to a conference and everybody had a PhD. Well, I don't know if that's PhD. Everybody is a doctor, this and doctor that. Oh, doctor, this and doctor. I was like, okay. But when I got in there, I took a deep breath and put on my diva step, and I walked in, all dressed in my Caribbean looking clothes. I never ever go out there and wear black, because everybody wearing black. I came with a beautiful hand painted dress from Trinidad and Tobago, and it drew attention. Everybody like, oh, where are you from? Oh, she has an accent. Wow. And people got drawn to me. And then you came from all the way from Trinidad, and I said, but Trinidad is right there. I'm in the US every single day, every single year, twice, 3 times a year. Oh, really? Right? And when they spoke about their travels was interstate. And I was able to tell them I traveled to Canada, to Europe, and they were like, wow. And let me tell you something. Before the end of the first day, all my confidence was on top of my head. I was walking around like a diva, because guess what? People were coming to me. And they loved the way I spoke, and they loved the way I looked, and they loved my hair, and they loved everything. I had my hair in braids, they loved everything about me. And that is what gave me the confidence. If I didn't walk, I could have walked in there and got into a corner and be like, oh my God, they're all doctor this and doctor that. Oh my God, they said they have traveled. Only to realize they didn't travel like I traveled. They didn't come from as fast as I came from. You know? So that, you got to get yourself in the right niche. And when you're feeling nervous, feel like you need to go to the bathroom 10 times when you hit that stage, do it. Take a deep breath and walk on and begin. Come, from the time that first clap, applause come on, and you see people focused on you, let me tell you something. Biggest part of the whole thing, be authentic. Do not try to be like anybody else. There's a Jamaican girl who's a speaker. When did I love her? I love her. You know why I love her? She will speak And in the middle of it, she'll drop into a piece of Jamaican dialect and give you a little line from Jamaica, and she'll pitch you a little something. And you'll be like, what? And then she'll explain it. I think that's so good. You know why? That's her heritage. And I think that's one of the reasons I like Rihanna. Because no matter what you hear about Rihanna, that Barbadian accent is there. You cannot miss it. That's who she is. So authenticity really helps. People really love it when they don't try to be like them. So that's my answer to those three parts of the question. For me, mine rolled out into, of course, I worked in the bank. I couldn't handle that navy blue uniform and that little scarf. Oh my God. And then I did my aesthetics. And then eventually over time, not anything, because like Lisa Nichols always tell us, the 9 to 5 is the equivalent to the bank loan to get started. Because when the banks are taking you on the entrepreneurship, you're going to do what? Open a what? They're not taking you on and giving you any money. The 9 to 5 is what is going to finance your start in business. So sometimes you need, and even when you open it, sometimes you still need to hold on to the 9 to 5 for a little bit to get that check every month or every fortnight so that you could pay your bills and get started because you need your marketing and stuff. So the 9 to 5 is very necessary. I don't ever encourage people to leave their job. Some people have done that and became successful, good for them. But for most of us, we have to continue with the 9 to 5 or the 8 to 4, whatever number of hours it is, in order to get the financial backing to get that business started. So mine rolled one into the other. I opened the spa turned into the image consulting. People like my fashion, they like the thing, did that, started with color, then went to different things, and then people started asking, can I speak to my ladies about how to dress properly? And that's so mine rolled. I tell people my own was divinely set up. I didn't think a couple of years ago that I'd be doing this. I didn't know about this, but it was divinely set up. And that's how I got to where I am. But the unfortunate thing is that people sometimes see you where you are and they don't know about the journey. So they want to be like you. They try to skip ahead. And that doesn't always work. Some might get away a little bit, but let me tell you something. Always figure out Lisa's journey. Let me tell you something. You hear Dr. Cheryl Wood's journey. Let me tell you something. You hear Alison Bird's journey. Let me tell you something. You've got to listen to the journey to where they are now from where they came from. All the bumps in the road, all the turns and the twists and the different things, all the mangers that are lying before they got to where they are today. So it's a journey. It's a journey. But you've got to be intentional, my word, and stay focused. Because people could throw you off your path, circumstances could throw you off your path, things could happen, and stay focused. Be intentional. That's my.
Well, that is powerful, Cheryl, because again, interestingly, yesterday, Pastor Sarah talked about the journey. Never discount, yes, there you go. Never discount the journey. And yes, you are also correct, because so often, appearances can be deceiving.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying go out there. And I was saying to another friend this morning, this Christmas was interesting. And I also said that it was not my intention to broadcast every aspect of my life on social media. That's just not who I am. So,
right.
Certain things at the end of the year, I decided I would sing a song because that was I wanted to do it all of Christmas, but I just didn't do it. And then the last day of the year, I did a Facebook live, and I just wished everybody a happy new year. And I sang a song, and that was my offering on Facebook. But it's not about, I had this sandwich today, I'm going to have something for lunch or whatever. To me, there's some things that are private. And we go through situations and certain things that I believe need to stay private. Where we can share lessons from the experience. Absolutely, we can do that. And the journey, I remember, and this is something that I've heard over and over. Never look at somebody's chapter 20 and evaluate yourself when you are in chapter 1. Use somebody else's chapter 20 as your encouragement.
Yes.
That you can too get to your chapter 20. But this preponderance for measuring ourselves against other people, that's just not a good thing to do, because we keep measuring ourselves. And why is she doing this and I can't do that? Because that person has, and they continue to go through their journey.
Yes.
And so we have to recognize that. If that is something you need to write down, I suggest you do that. Never measure your chapter 1 against someone else's chapter 12, 20, 40. It does not matter. Remember also that when you get to your chapter 5, there's someone coming after you who's going to look at your chapter 5 and go like, wow, that person is amazing. How do they even get there?
Yep.
We also have a responsibility to be responsible coaches. I won't say mentors, because mentor is an all-encompassing function. And to be someone's mentor is a very, very serious undertaking. So to be someone else's coach, we just have to remember that people are always watching. We want to be our best selves, but don't get caught up in being perfect, because there is no perfection. Just have your plan. Know that you're going to fall off the bandwagon sometimes. And the only time you will fail is if you refuse to get back up.
Yes.
So
yes.
just
Yes.
fall, you get back up, you dust yourself off. You have friends like Cheryl and myself to say, come on, you can do it.
Yes.
Right? And we just keep going. We just keep encouraging each other. Be somebody else's cheerleader, right? Be someone else's cheerleader, because we all need cheerleaders. And have faith. Have faith that you were destined for something great. And it does not have to be the CEO or the chairman of a multi-billion-dollar organization. It might be, but it's not for everyone. But you could be the CEO of your own business, the CEO of a conglomerate where friends get together and they create something together. You could be the chairman of yourself and your own business. So we are really encouraging you to take stock and never, never, ever stop pursuing your dream, because that's when you will fail, when you just give up and refuse to jump back up. And sometimes our jumping back up, Cheryl, the first few times we fall and we jump back up quickly, right? And then there are some times when we struggle and we go like, oh boy, again, all right. And we drag ourselves up and we just keep stepping. It was like this morning, Cheryl. Folks, I am very much into to the holistic wellness and fitness. And so many people say, oh my gosh, you look so healthy and stuff. And I try to tell them, listen, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
If you want to throw yourself into 1 hour and then say, I can't, bite-sized chunks. If you can only do 2 minutes, start with 2 minutes. I'll tell you something. you will feel so proud of yourself. 2 minutes. And then you know what? You will keep doing 2 minutes this week, and then next week you'll do 3 minutes. That's how I did it 5 years ago, because I was feeling like, oh my God, I really need to lose weight. And I had a lot to lose. And I just said, you know what? Day one, struggled. But guess what? Take it in bite-sized chunks every day. Do a little bit. Your self-care. This morning, Cheryl, I slept in late. I slept in late because
Me
my
too.
body,
Me too.
yeah,
Me
exactly. My body was
But I still
saying,
exercise. I still did my exercise
and
when I got up. Yep, yep,
me too,
yep.
me too. And you know what? I felt so good that, and my coaches teach this as well. You know, they said, listen to what your body is saying to you. If it needs an extra hour, and you have the flexibility, of course, to do it. This is not talking about the people who have to be out the door by 6 a.m. to get to an office. But, you know, there are things even that you can do at the office during your lunch hour. That's something I really would love to pursue, helping people to see that they can do this within their lunch breaks. And just taking that little bit of extra time for yourself, self love, self care. We're excited to be sharing that with you this year. 2023, Cheryl, is just, by God's grace, is just going to be awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, this was a wonderful conversation. Before we close up, and I wish everybody from my heart a blessed and a healthy and a blessed and a happy and everything else 2023. I want to talk to ladies a little bit about something, just a couple of words. This is going to be my bad part of the thing, right? My part of the thing. Right? I don't talk about God a lot, but whatever. Stop looking to Kim freaking Kardashian for inspiration.
Oops.
That is all about money. And I will tell you right up that money answers all things. But when you do anything and everything to make money, think about, and that depends on where you are in life, what your beliefs are. My belief is I want to honor God. Stop looking to those people. Fed up of hearing those names. But Kim Kardashian is, and Kim Kardashian, excuse me. She already had her heaven as far as I'm concerned. I'm not judging her. I might be wrong. But listen to me. Stop looking for those people for inspiration. Look within. There are many other people out there who are not loud like them, who don't wear tight clothes all the time, and who are always sharing all the booty and stuff and things, who are very successful. There are many other women. You could go to people like Mel Robbins. I'm saying the right way. This is Mel, right? Mel
Yes,
Robbins.
Mel. Yes.
You can go to Lisa Nichols. You go to Dr. Cheryl Wood. All these women are women. Dr. Rhonda Wood. Google these women and listen to their inspirational talks. And there are some men as well, right? There are some men. Of course, my old boy, Les Brown, Tony Robbins. Listen to these people. There are other people who have been very successful in their life, finances, otherwise. Stop talking about that woman. You all are giving her fodder for no reason. She already got what she wanted to get because she used everybody in the world. Leave it alone. There are other ways to be inspired. That's all I have to say about that. This is that was my Candace Owens moment. Okay?
Okie dokie. So that was your Candace Owens moment. Oh, one other word for this year. One other word for this year, which they dropped yesterday, was fiduciary.
Okay.
Fiduciary. And it ties back in with money. Yes, Cheryl, money answers all things. Being more prudent, being wiser with how you manage your money. Get your balance sheets together, your income and expenditure statement, your assets and liabilities. I worked in a bank for 25 years. Was not my balance sheets and stuff, was not my favorite thing. However, make it simple for yourself. Understand what's going out, what's coming in, what are the habits that you have, and then look at investing even as small as it is. I heard some great information from the Chief Operating Officer of the Potter's House yesterday. Made great sense. Guys, if you manage what you have now wisely, God will bless you with more. So just
Well,
remember that, right? How you manage the little will determine if you are given more to manage.
yeah.
So that is my final. Oh, and before we go, Cheryl, you have to tell us, you have some journals, and if you could tell us where that's available, and if you can also share your conference dates before we leave.
Okay. So the conference date is May 13th, 2023. And more will be said about it as we go along, right? There'll be marketing materials on LinkedIn and Instagram and everything else, right? And just sign up a few little ends, put some knots and some stuff, and then begin the marketing.
Yes.
That's the conference. And it's a women's conference, and it's becoming her 2. We did part 1 in 2019. We were supposed to do part 2 at the end of 2020, but we know what happened in 2020, 21, 22, right? So we're going to be becoming her 2. It's a holistic conference that covers all aspects of becoming her, the woman you need to be. That's what this conference is going to be. So it's on May 13th of 2023. And I have a Gratitude Journal published on Amazon. It's for sale on Amazon. It's a paperback. I also have a daily planner in hardcover and paperback published on Amazon. You go to my link, link.3/Cheryl Diane Speaks. It's linked here on this
channel.
In the channel, right? If you go there, they're all linked there. So you just go to click on the link and it will take you straight to Amazon. You can purchase these things. Everybody needs to have a daily planner. The planner has parts for your to-do lists, your appointments, daily affirmation, and the little notes you have. Each page has that. It's repetitive because every single day you need to write those things down and stick to your word, right? So that's what the plan is about. And the journal is the journal, whatever you're grateful for. Like I got this morning, and I always tell people, speaking to a friend of mine, and I opened my eyes and said, God, I can see. Oh my God, my hands could move. I could swing off my bed and my legs would hurt. I could walk into my kitchen and make myself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And for that, I am grateful. I can hear the birds outside. I can't wait to go and open the door. I am grateful. So I am grateful for just that. And of course, all the things are going to come my way. I'm grateful for that too. But I start my gratitude by just being able to see and to move. And the fact that I am alive and I can wake up. Okay? So there are many who have not made it to 2023. Just so you know. Okay? And we already halfway through, more than halfway through, day number 2.
Yes,
so you know,
we are.
By the time you take out a Christmas tree, you put it back up again. So get after it. That's Chris Como always says. Let's get after it. Let's get moving. Let's do this thing. Let's be intentional and let's stay focused on our intention. That's all I have to say about that. I love Candace Owens, you know that, right? You always agree, I don't know politics, but I love her. And that's all I have to say about that, because that's the truth. That's what you have to say about it. You say a thing and that's it. End of story. Okay, Lacey?
Yes, Cagney. That is all we have to say for today, folks. It has been a blast having this conversation. Just us talking about, how we set ourselves up.
1 second. And you could also get to Christine through her Linktree, which is linked here as well. And her Linktree is maybe easier than mine to find because Linktree/Christine Francois was written on the screen. Mine is Cheryl Diane Speaks, so it's Christine Francois. The both are linked here. She's a wellness coach. Go chat with her, connect with her, subscribe to her Linktree, and get going with some information. Thank you. Yes. Sorry, Christine. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. So really, this is what we wanted to share today, really about reflecting and setting yourself up for success. and this is second day of the new year. All too soon, 364,
3
60, 63, 64,
more days.
including today.
Right.
Yeah, including today. All too soon, 364 days will fly by, and we will get caught up with all the things, kids and aging parents, and the list is many. But if you just stay focused, as Cheryl talked about, if you do your reflection, take some time later on today when everybody has gone to sleep, to reflect, to reevaluate, and recommit to yourself and your dreams. And don't do it for someone else. Do it
Yeah.
for yourself. Look inside, see what's deepest in your heart. And sometimes we may not be able to get it all done right at this very moment, but even in the action of writing, what is our dream? Writing it down, taking it from the brain and the heart and putting it on paper, it starts to take a life of its own. Always remember that. And you can shoot us a line and tell us, what are some of your dreams? What are some of the things that you want to achieve in 2023? Because we will support you. If we've got to pray for you, if we've got to put you in touch with some people, maybe that's what you need. You need
Yeah.
people who will believe in you. And we are right here to cheer you on. So that's it for me, Cheryl Cagney.
People who need people. Have a look. I can't sing it. Luckiest people in the world. That's why this whole live stream now. But people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. We need each other. Let's love each other, right? My voice and all
Amen.
this. All right. So, Christine,
Woohoo!
this was wonderful. To our subscribers, to those who would listen to us on the replay, to those who will love and like and subscribe and share with your friends, I thank you. God bless you all. And let's look forward, all of us, to what God has in store for us in 2023. But know that you're going to get up and get moving. Okay? So see you all next time.